And thank you very much to Morgans for inviting me this morning and indulging me to speak about a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. So I will answer all questions, Universal Store. Very happy to answer any questions that you have. But I'm actually going to chew your ear off a little bit about a passionate topic for me, which is the value and viability of bricks and mortar retail and why it is so important to our society and why it is so important to our economy. So thank you very much for that. Beyond the obvious commercial and economic benefits that physical retail networks provide the community, I have kind of felt like a lone champion over the last 10 years, highlighting the far-reaching social, socioeconomic, and psychosocial benefits that physical marketplaces play in the broader community. And this sort of solitary lone voice is now beginning to gain a larger voice, because COVID has really demonstrated that when you take shops away from people, they will shop online. But when you reopen them, people will flock back to those stores. My position on the need for retail to drive bricks and mortar growth has been labeled sometimes as backwards, out of touch, and even misguided. It is only recently that this long-touted bricks and mortar retail is going to die kind of chat has been rethought and refocused. So let me clarify. I highly value the digital space. I highly value the digital marketplace. The benefits of having a strong digital offer and the growing enthusiasm shoppers have for engaging digitally with our services and products is very important to the health of our business. But when I've been pushed to have a digital-first strategy, I have countered with the position that I actually have a customer-first strategy. And by focusing on my customer, what they're doing, how they're engaging with us, and how they want to deal with our business and the products and services that we have, it is very clear that any business is about 75 to 80% bricks and mortar still today. There are plenty of studies out to demonstrate that that truth is absolutely concrete. By having a customer-first strategy, it means I won't miss what my customer is doing, how they are moving, how they are trending, and how they are changing. And it takes care of any sort of inbuilt scotoma or any inbuilt bias that you might have about how people should want to shop, and you stay keenly attached to what they are actually doing. I care deeply about preserving bricks and mortar in the retail space, along with embracing wholeheartedly the benefits my customers have, particularly as being digital natives. And I hope that by the end, many of you will also appreciate the broad benefits bricks and mortar retail has to a healthy economy and a society that cannot yet be met through pure digital offers only. So what omni-channel retail means to consumers is the ability to move fluidly through many channels to engage with the business. They may discover a brand through an influencer that they really like, or through social media. They may do some investigation on a website. They may visit a store, transact with a store, return online, and vice versa. They do see it as a fluid exchange between those two marketplaces. But rather than seeing digital enhancement as a revolution or a shift of some sort of seismic change in consumer behavior, I believe it's just a natural evolution, an expansion in our customers' ability to embrace technology in our everyday lives. I mean, I guess I don't see using GPS to get home from here today as a revolution. I see that as normal evolution. If I have a niggling question, I don't see asking Siri the answer is revolutionary as opposed to going to the Encyclopedia Britannica. But perhaps I just gave my age away by even mentioning the Encyclopedia Britannica. So retail is really a reflection of community. And this sort of evolution has been part of our history as an industry. If you think about it, pardon me, retail started off in the bazaars and in the marketplaces, then moved to the general store where everything was under one roof. Then we moved to specializations and strip malls and multi car park cities practically that the new retail marketplaces look like. And then, of course, there's the comfort of our own home. And these are the natural evolutionary pathways that our industry has taken. But we do find that the more the world gets high tech, the more people crave high touch. We see a resurgence in organic farmers markets. We see those Harris farm markets on any given Saturday. Good luck elbowing your way through the dairy section. It's incredibly exciting to see people returning to CBDs. When we take shops away, people will stay home. When you reopen them, people do flock back. So anyone who expresses a belief that bricks and mortar retail is dying should just hit any decent shopping center at 2 o'clock on any given Saturday. And I think you'll see how incredibly well patronized those centers are. Beyond the truth that many people love physical shopping experience, there are two other reasons that I am incredibly passionate about bricks and mortar, and both are vital to the well-being of our long-term community. And these areas really lie in entry-level employment opportunities and overall cultural health. When I think about employment opportunities, there are three main cohorts of people who typically work in bricks and mortar retail stores beyond those who choose the industry. We were just having a conversation at the table. Universal Store onboarded 600 Christmas casuals just last week. So there's a lot of people looking for work this Christmas. Firstly, there are those people who have something in their lives more important than the job that they're currently doing. Many of these people are students or creatives, or they're looking for a secondary or supplementary income. Secondly, there are those people who find themselves displaced from their previous life or occupation. Oftentimes, it can be a cohort of people who are plus 50 years and have either been made redundant or for whatever reason can no longer continue within that work stream that they were already engaged in. Anecdotally, my local Bunnings, there's a mid-60s, I would guess he would be, and he's a former builder. His wife died a couple of years ago, and he has helped my husband through all the DIY past flood, and he's absolutely brilliant. And I had a great chat with him on the weekend, and he was telling me that his wife had passed away a couple of years ago. He was no longer able to be a builder, and that working in the local Bunnings has given him a reason to get up in the morning, a place to go where his expertise is absolutely, thank you so much. His expertise is absolutely, wanted and engaged with. And then there's a beautiful furniture store where a woman has sold her very lucrative interior design business. And she didn't want to work full time anymore, but 2 days a week, there's a queue of people who line up to get her advice. These are extraordinarily vibrant people within our community that absolutely require an opportunity to continue to be vital. And yet, here we are finding that everything going digital is not going to deliver that opportunity for these people. There are also homemakers who find themselves suddenly single after raising a family, who need to find work outside the home. And sometimes it's the first time or the first time in many years. They may have a sense of overwhelm, unworthiness, or insecurity. But if they focus on their passions and their abilities, there's almost always a retailer there able to give them support if they love fashion, cooking, organization, travel, pet care, etc. And that provides brilliant entry-level opportunities for people to rejoin the workforce and help build self-confidence and the ability to provide for themselves. The low barriers to entry for these people mean that they can take the skills that they currently have and apply them in meaningful and a fulfilling manner. The employer gets a great skill set and the employee gains a sense of purpose, community, and earns an income. And then there's the cohort that I often have to, I'm privileged enough to get to work with. And these are the vulnerable and the directionless. Retail is a catchment place for creative, interesting, vibrant, energetic kids who lack clear direction. Many of these young people didn't do that well in school, and therefore find a clear pathway didn't unfold for them. Getting past the righteousness mindset or worthiness mindset that so many people have when they meet these young people, we have to understand this is a substantial percentage of our population who find themselves at 16, 17, and 18 years of age lost about next steps. And they think, I can always get a job in a shop. Some of these kids come from great backgrounds and are just what I call late bloomers. Other kids have stories so harrowing that I am in awe that they even find the strength to get out of bed in the morning. Lives spent in foster care, being young carers of parents or siblings who may have addictions, mental or physical health issues, or raised in households rife with domestic violence. Some just got in with the wrong crowd and are now making positive changes for their life. And retail is a prime vehicle to provide these people with a safe and accessible transition to a brighter future. Some people love the industry and choose it, and they have ambition to be a department head of product or technology, a retail planner, a CEO or CFO, and they want to understand the shop floor and be a great leader with vision and wisdom, not just theory. But let me be very clear. None of these people are pickers and packers. They're people. They have the ability and desire to be dynamic in their work, ignite conversations with total strangers, and thrive on having a variety of experiences versus routine. And I will say some of them are so vibrant and dynamic that they would wither in an environment where accuracy of stock fulfillment would be their key performance indicator. And I dare say, if you've ever had a couple of things fulfilled that weren't correct, I could probably tell you it was someone who should be in a retail shop and not in the distribution center. As Tim said, retail is the second largest employer in our country. And imagine the challenge to the public purse if we should see this industry shift purely or primarily to the digital space. Physical retail stores provide an entry-level vehicle for people who need an easily accessible job with a low barrier to entry. They need to experience work, how it would be to be a good and valuable team member and contributor. While this can also be said for distribution centers, we know that the routine of DC is not for everyone. Having work gives us so much more than a paycheck. Having work gives us self-esteem, pride, purpose, value, and hope. We know that people suffering from addictions have low self-esteem and often suffer from a sense of hopelessness. We know that the more community members that suffer from addictions means a rise in crime. It would be devastating for our country long term. It would impact our freedoms, our sense of ease and safety if we were to immediately see a large number of people who need work not be able to find work. So the most exciting reason that someone quits at Universal Store or reduces their hours is because they tell us, I'm going to go get my high school equivalency, or I'm going to go to TAFE, or I'm going to go to university. They have developed healthy self-esteem working for us, and they acknowledge that they are intelligent, they have more to contribute, and now they have a plan. We have many people in our office. It's about 15% of the people who work in the office have come from the shop floor. They've either studied or graduated into buying, merchandising, IT, human resources, and these people are my best ambassadors for why it is so much easier for Universal Store to hire than some of our competitors, because we absolutely embrace everybody who comes to apply. And yes, we give them very clear barriers, very clear parameters about how they need to behave, but society isn't doing it anymore. Schools aren't able to provide this anymore, and it's really fallen to the employer to help people transition more effectively into the workplace than I have ever seen in my 30 years. I fully understand that some people loathe going to a shopping center. I've met these people. Some of them may be in this room. You would probably have the same feeling that I would have if someone asked me to join them at the Monster Truck Show, right? Like, surely those shouldn't exist anymore. Why would anyone go to them? But of course, they do sell tickets to these things and people go. But pause a moment to recognize the value that retail stores and online distribution centers provide to the economic and sociological well-being of our country. Of course, there is a sustainability aspect to retail and consumerism, which is another evolution and one that retailers like myself take very seriously. But I suppose that is another topic for another breakfast. There are some areas that I would like to see retail improve upon. Firstly, in terms of First Nations people, I'm working with a wonderful coach helping Universal Store navigate our Reconciliation Action Plan. And my desire is to welcome more Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders to the retail space. There are far too many people lacking in this space, and this is a great and ideal opportunity. In terms of new Australians, I'm niggling at the edges to see how we can persuade government to provide free English lessons to help fast-track new migrants into the community space. and have more presence in our daily retail experience. We also need greater accessibility to community members with disability. With retail rents at a premium, creating accessible retail space is a challenge. If only we could get rents down per square metre. Alex, if only we could do that. But that is probably another discussion for another day as well. It is, of course, incumbent upon myself and all retail leaders to drive excellent experience for our customers. To do that, we need to focus on having excellent experiences for our team members. In order to have a customer-first strategy, we need to have an employee-first mindset. When we align a passion for people and we align that passion for success, we deliver on every income. Benefiting our shareholders via valuing and benefiting our team members is exactly the formula that Universal Store has always employed. I truly believe that the level of service that you receive from any given retailer is a reflection of the leadership that that person feels that they are receiving. And so that service profit chain is very clear and alive at Universal Store. So I'll be very happy to take any questions that you have, and I certainly hope I'll see you all in the shops this Christmas season. Thank you.